Hello, this is Rick Wallace. I want to talk today about the profit calculator. It's just a tool you can use to look at what ifs and look at the future. And as we've always said, the key is to writing the end of the book and then figuring out what we need to do to get there. So this 4.9% profitability is not acceptable. We've got to make it better. So what we do is use this calculator to look at some what ifs and do some prognostication on what we could do in the future. So first step is to take your last 12 months, put in your gross sales, put in your gross margin percentage, put in your net profit and profit percentage. Take your fully loaded payroll, all the money you're spending on payroll, anything that has to do with payroll, throw it into this row. Then what's left over of your expenses will go into this row, total expenses without labor. Put in your total full-time equivalents. And what this will calculate is my revenue per employee, my percentage of labor to revenue and other expenses to revenue, profit per employee, and the total labor divided into gross margin. In other words, for every dollar I spend on labor, what am I getting back in gross margin? This last one is just your total cost of labor per full-time equivalent. So what we want to do is get to that sweet spot, somewhere over 220 here maybe. Definitely in the 220,000 to 270,000 revenue per employee, and we know that can be done. And then a gross margin, somewhere in the mid-50s is ideal. So let's say that we think next year we should be able to do $3 million. That's what we're going to set as our goal. That $3 million, just that growth alone, leaving everything alone, will get us to 10%. But let's say we're not happy with 10%. Gross margin, we feel like our pricing's optimal right now. It's probably going to stay that way. So we're getting $214,000 per revenue per employee down here. We know that we can get better than that. So let's say that we reduced our sales force or our employee force to 13 people. That'll get us up to 11.7% pre-tax profit. Let's say that we feel like we could get a little more in gross margin by doing some pricing reviews. That'll get us to 13.7. But you see, to really get into the profitability around 15%, we need to get down to where we're getting about $250,000 per employee, revenue per employee. That's the up to optimal level. Maybe down here, this might go to $52,000, $54,000. Maybe we're going to pay our people a little more to get more productivity from them. And you can see how that affects the numbers up here. So it's just a what if. It's a calculator that you can use to look at different scenarios and start predicting the future, setting goals, and writing that ending of the book, and then figuring out what you need to get there. The options are up to you.